Hey guys, welcome to Spectral Tarot. So today I am doing a little reading on the Lionsgate portal that just happened on August 8th, which was yesterday, and the energies were super intense. Very, like, I don't know if you're sensitive. I was like super sensitive, just a lot going on. And I pulled a card yesterday, and obviously I wasn't surprised to see the tower come up. And it's funny because I've been getting a lot of downloads about the tower lately, and seeing a few different kind of examples of it in my own life, or just like even in the hierarchy of the different energy levels, like internally in relationships and career, on a collective level, like the forest fires here in Ontario. Like, this is a tower moment for us. And Spirit has been also talking about sustainability on an environmental level, on a mental health level, on an emotional level, like in our relationships. Like, our jobs aren't sustainable. We see like a huge walkout right now in the 9 to 5 profession, the nurses, the restaurant workers. Like, it wasn't a sustainable system, so why would we go back? Like, a lot of us are starting our own businesses and really kind of sinking into the energy that makes us feel better. But we are moving through this tower moment to get to that energy. When I'm seeing the tower, a lot of times when we see the tower in tarot, it almost feels like an attack from the universe or from spirit. We're like, oh, like, what the heck did I do? Like, it feels like somebody, like a villager, is coming over with a torch and burning our tower. This is from the Ostera deck. And it's not, though. Spirit's like, literally, we burn our tower from the inside. And it makes sense. Like, the first thing I saw was Princess Fiona from Shrek, and I also saw Rapunzel. And I'm like, okay, so this tower is like, their safe haven, but they don't want to be there. Like, but it's our comfort zone. We create our own towers. And then we get so upset at other people when they stay in their own tower. Like, in relationships, like, just a personal anecdote, like, I went through a rejection back in March, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what did I do? What happened? And I was like knocking on his tower. I'm like, why won't you let me in? And then he's looking at me going, well, you got your door closed too. Like, I can't get in your tower either. Like, we have to burn it down to be able to, like, get to that level of intimacy and emotional availability. But we're always so focused on, the other person. And I've gone through this before in other collective readings, talking about, othering the karmic and how we have to look at the karmic in ourselves. And it all has to do with this tower. And in this card, I really like the depiction in this card because of the big full moon behind the tower, but also you can see all the doves flying out. It's almost like all those doves were trapped inside the tower. And yes, like, the village is burning, but all of this peace is being released. Everything is being freed up so that you can, escape this tower. Because, like, as comfortable as Rapunzel was in the tower, she always wanted to see more. She wanted to go on that adventure. And, there was conflict. With intimacy, there will always be conflict, but they go hand in hand. Like, so there's a lot going on in the tower. It's like, and I see it internally too. Like, we have, sometimes I talk about, like, our emotional cave, or like a lot of the times that's where we put our shadow selves inside this internal tower. We, like, lock them up inside because at some point someone was like, don't be your authentic self, because that scares me. And then we go and hide in that tower, and it's about letting that out, and it's a ripple effect. So once we start dealing with our internal tower, all our, like, mental health issues, especially coming out of this quarantine, it's been so jarring. It's a collective trauma response, but a lot of us really got our eyes open to the fact that we were already living in this tower energy, in survival mode from trauma from our childhoods. So for some of us, like, especially if you have anxiety issues, we walked into the pandemic just like, it doesn't feel like that different really. And it was very eye-opening for me. I'm like, okay, so I'm already living in survival mode. I'm already like standing in my tower that is burning, and I'm like, I'm fine, everything's fine, right? Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good. You want to come in my tower? No, door shut. Like, it's just, we're working at it so backwards because we keep on looking at other people's towers and being like, well, their tower's burning, theirs is closed, they aren't letting me in theirs. But again, it's looking back at ourselves. Even on the collective note, like, we are seeing both extremes with the climate change crisis, and we're seeing like the forest fires, the flooding, and it's literally a mirror of what's going on internally within us. And there is going to be a big tower moment coming. Yeah. And I don't like, I don't like speaking on that, especially on the like climate crisis collectively, because there is so much going on with that energetically, politically. Like, there's so many different factors within like the climate crisis. But I feel like it's coming to a peak, and it's going to be a lot sooner than we expect. And I'm not saying that to scare anybody, like, it's just reality. Like, and this pandemic has really highlighted all of that. And now we're coming to this tower moment. And I feel like a lot of us too, it has started back in like February and March. Like, something was triggered back then. Like, for me, it was that rejection. And now we're going through the months, and it's kind of like that needed to happen. Like, I am sitting here like in my meditation saying, okay, thank you, Spirit. Thank you to that person who rejected me. I rejected myself. Like, that's the thing. It's a huge mirror. And this card too, it's like not just the tower that's burning, but it's the whole village, right? Like, it's not just the one thing that is being torn down. The Spirit's like, don't freaking look at us. Like, you asked for this tower. This tower needs to happen. You are the one that is literally inside with your little torch being like, do I burn it? I don't know. Do I burn it? I don't know. And then literally once it's burning down, you look out and you're like, Spirit, like, what the hell? Like, you came in with your torch and burned down my tower. Why? Spirit's like, you had the freaking thing. Like, you had the fire. So yeah, they're saying, don't look at us. Like, we are literally helping you through this, but this needs to happen. I pulled some Work Your Light Oracle cards too. And this is the other extreme. This is the Mintakan card. So longing for home, belonging, and the original light workers. The Mintakans are, I think it's like a water planet or something. I don't really know much about it, but this is the card. Like, it's the complete opposite energy, right? So Spirit's saying, like, we're trying to find a balance between those extremes, and we can see this everywhere. And the other card I pulled was Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. So see how this person is just like, there's the stairs, there's all that stuff happening at the bottom, and then they're just walking through that portal. Like, we are definitely collectively going through a portal shift right now. And the energy looks like a lot clearer on the other side. It feels a lot more like that home energy. I think the story behind this card too is that the Mintaka planet is no longer there. I don't know if it got destroyed or whatever. So the people who it just feels like your home was taken away. I'm hearing like nomadic kind of energy. But yeah, this is all divinely guided. And like the tower, we can feel very, usually it comes up for me in readings with like the devil energy card, like that resisting change, that leading into your escaping lifestyle. Like, a lot of us are going through almost like we're sobering up to life. We're like, oh, what the hell? We're stopping using those escapes. Like, for me, I just quit smoking weed, and it's crazy how much, like, how things are changing for me, and how much I realized, like, it started just taking all of my other coping skills and hobbies, like, under its wing. And it was just like, yeah, I'll do that for you. But it really was just my way of going deeper into the basement of my own tower so I could escape life. But now I'm sitting there on every level, like burning all the cobwebs, just setting everything ablaze. I'm like, I want to start just like from the ground up again. I want to start on my foundation. So I've been seeing a lot of fours too come up, like angel numbers 444, a lot of number 4 cards coming up, that we are starting to rebuild our foundation. And that comes with the structural changes, the internal changes, and all that is mirroring. But it's a very triggering time right now. So if you are feeling like you're standing in your tower and you're like, what the fuck? Like everything is burning around you, be grateful. I know that's so hard, but express gratitude for the place you're in right now and ask Spirit to help you move through this for the highest good of yourself and for all around you. Because the tower is coming regardless. But we asked for this. We need this. And with this full moon behind it, a lot of it is spiritual energy too. Like our spirit guides and ancestors, they're all kind of literally like, I see them just like a scooping kind of energy. They're just like picking us up and trying to move us all in this direction. I'm seeing that like herding game. I don't know if that was on Neopets, where you had to like herd all the animals into the pen and they'd all just start going other places. And you're like, come on, like that's what Spirit's saying. And then, yeah, we just keep looking at the universe like, why the heck are you doing this to me? And they're like, so frustrated. We're frustrated. Like, I feel it, but I feel like this peak oil. Oh, no, yeah, they're getting into the oil and yeah, it's not good. That's for another reading. But this tower moment, I feel, is just so meant for us right now. And we have to open our eyes and look, because a lot of us are still, you know, trying to kind of come to terms with the reality of what's going on the planet right now. And kind of aligning that with our dreams and what we thought was going to, the world, what we thought was going to be happening in our lifetime. Yeah, 4 swords. See, the 4s keep coming up. This one is really interesting. See, like it's that level of exhaustion that we're at too in the world. So this is like a global shift happening. And if you don't feel it, like that means you are deep in your tower's basement, just like trying to hide from the realities of life. And like understandably so, especially if you've gone through trauma at any point in this lifetime or a past lifetime. If you resonate with that, like we are carrying such a deep, and that's where I see this like scooping energy, like a deep vat of trauma within each and every one of us. But we're so inclined to think individually about it, be like, well, this is my trauma. Like, no, this is a collective trauma. We are all living out a different aspect of God or spirit, of source, the universe, whatever you believe in, energy. Like, we are all a part of this same map. And the sooner we realize that and understand that there's more, we have more in common with each other, especially our shadow sides. Like, it's so easy to look at somebody else's tower and being like, haha, like I see them hiding in there, like what are you doing, while you are still in your own tower. Like this is happening all across the board. Career, like a lot of friction between like higher ups and stuff, bosses, especially in relationships, like intimate relationships. I got knocked with that one this year, but it so had to happen, and I'm so grateful now that it did, because now I can understand, like, yeah, I was always being like, I always ended up with people who either were interested or who weren't available. And then I'm realizing now, like, okay, it's me. Like, I'm also emotionally unavailable because I am hiding in this tower. So there's this huge awakening happening. We are finding that sense of home within ourselves. I keep on seeing a big turtle too, like sea turtles keep coming up. And it's like, they have learned, you know, that their home is with them, within them. With that World card, yeah, it really is. See this like cloud around the World there? It's strange because you see those two pieces kind of like coming off the planet, and then you have this kind of like smoke energy surrounding it. It really feels like, now they're saying tectonic plates too. I don't know what that I'll have to do like an actual environmental reading someday. Soon. They're saying soon, so yeah. But these two pieces that are coming off are literally like two parts of ourselves, and I keep on getting a lot of like heart chakra energy, so I feel like it's the part at the front where we give, but also the part at the back where we receive. A lot of us, when we clear our energy, we clear the front, but we don't clear the back, and that's where we receive. So a lot of us have a hard time receiving compliments, receiving love, actually being able to take that and trust it. And that's where the Four of Swords energy comes in, where we tend to hide. This is like the rest and digest card for me, but sometimes it is about escapism, because Swords is very like mental energy. Yeah, I'm gonna pull one more card. What advice? Oh, okay. Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles or Two of Cups? This is my sister's deck, so just one second. I want to make sure I'm not giving you the wrong information. Okay, it's the Two of Coins, yeah. Balance, distractions, neglect, and relationships. Ooh, interesting. I'm actually just going to read this because it's cool. An alchemist holds his experiments in precarious balance aboard a sailing vessel. Moving through life successfully is always a balancing act. You might not have the stable footing for what you wish for, but this doesn't mean you won't find your sea legs. I like that. The flurry of sparrows represents distraction that will require diligence to overcome. All these towers that are burning, definitely. Traditionally, coins represent finances, but this card might speak of relationships that have become neglected as you try and improve other areas of your life. So yeah, I feel like there's maybe some people that have gone through like a similar thing to me, like a type of rejection, and you might be looking for love again, but you still feel like that distraction. There's those three fucking birds. I don't know if you guys, I did a collective reading in one of the groups. There was these three birds that I keep on seeing. They're just like three birds on a line. And that's, yeah, it was like this time was needed to, I'm seeing like a separation so that you can work on your tower, so that you could burn it down and then like really go for what you want. Whether like, I don't know if you and that person are gonna like reunite, or there's these three, and there's one up there flying. But these three sparrows that are so important, and I feel like, again, like some of it, for some of us, it's like three spirit guides, three patterns, three different things that have like kind of gone on since, I'm hearing, February, March, that are really triggering, but they are like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what I'm like. It looks like I'm rolling a joint. Yeah, they're like rolling into one another. It's like the three swords before you get to the last one, which is the sword of truth. And once you pick that up, it's like, okay, they're ready to go. And then, sorry, I'm just making sure I have enough time on my video. Yeah, once we pick up that last sword of truth, and again, we're always like waiting for, you know, the other ball to drop, the other tower. Like, we're always looking externally to ourselves. And this is when we look internally, that's when we pick up that sword, our sword of truth, our authentic selves, and really come into union with not just like our partners, but our dreams and our actual reality. Coming into union with our reality means coming into our bodies fully. And as like energy or a spiritual, like a soul, that's hard, especially during these kind of times where there is the collective tower moments happening. Like, there's a reason why so many souls want to get on the planet at this time. it's hard to believe because of especially our generation, like the way we kind of think about our futures and our lives, but we have really fought to get here for this time because we have such accelerated soul growth happening. Like for me, I know I have picked a lot of life lessons. Like I visited a medium a long time ago, probably like a decade ago, and she's like, usually people tend to pick around like 5 to 10 main life lessons to work on. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And she's like, you picked 35. I'm like, what the fuck? But I feel it. Like I had a very like interesting first half of my life. Like I just turned 30 and I'm like, holy shit, like I feel like I've lived three lifetimes. Three lifetimes within this first 30 years of my life. So I feel like, yeah, whatever is with this three, it's 3 major events. And the last card here, the inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. Okay, so literally, and you see these two people, they're looking away from each other, but their heart chakras are engaged. And that's where I'm talking about, like the back one. We are really focusing on our inner temple to be able to come into this energy and go through that portal, which is through our heart and understanding and empathy. And I'm not seeing a lot of that right now just around. So it's about embodying that energy for yourself, even if you don't really feel that coming from any other source around you, whether that's your job, your family, your friends, what you're eating, what you're consuming in media, like what you're watching on TV. It's all connected. So Spirit's asking us to really take a look, open our eyes, come into our bodies. They're like, will you quit freaking bugging us? I feel like Spirit is at their wits' end just like us. They're like, we're trying. Like, they can only do so much, especially when there's this like collective ascension going on. Trying to hold space for someone right now is really hard, especially if you're energy sensitive. I couldn't even imagine being, our guides and ancestors on the other side trying to hold space for all of us. So again, like, practice that gratitude every day. And you don't have to say like, I'm grateful for the shitstorm of my life. Like, yeah, this shitstorm can be really, really big, for a lot of us. It's about being grateful for the little things and just understanding that this tower is necessary. It's unavoidable, but it's part of it. It's part of this, like, I'm hearing mosaic of what the world is about and what we're experiencing during this lifetime. And like all those like doves flying out of the tower, it's like all this shit is just released and it feels just so much better. But again, there's a lot of triggering moments right now, and with the Four of Swords, it's okay to rest. It's okay to digress into your tower every once in a while, but don't stay there, because that's when you literally just keep going deeper and deeper, and the triggerings get bigger and bigger. Okay, I think that's it. I hope you guys had a good Lionsgate. It's intense right now, but we'll get through it. Definitely tune into your heart. Do some heart chakra meditations, look up heart chakra binaural beats, get into your heart center, because that's where the basement of your tower is. And also your shadow selves. We need to be doing our shadow work for sure. And I see that with the moon too. It's like the dark side of the moon, and it's got to come around. It's got to do its full turn. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that reading. I hope it resonated. Let me know if it did, and we will talk next time. All right, take care. Bye.